And so when you started doing the interviews, like what were some of the biggest, I guess, what were the most common answers that you got where women's actions didn't match what they were doing?
I think it really came down to the fact that, they would, I mean, obviously when they would say they want a guy, who's a gentleman and a nice guy, and then you would just kind of see how they would go for these guys who don't really care about them. And it's like, well, you want this attention from guys, but then it's like, but then it's not quite, it's like you want a certain outcome. I don't know, like, I just noticed that most of like the dating advice that men would get was always about like, this is what you're supposed to do, but it was never about like, what are women supposed to do? You know what I mean? So it was just,
Like there's a burden of performance for men, but not for women.
yeah. And so at some point, you just wonder like, what are women complaining about? Like why is the burden always on men? Why are men always expected to change? And then at one point I was almost just trying to figure out like, is dating harder for men or for women? And, after all of this red pill content, I think we can pretty much all, mutually agree and come to a consensus on the fact that dating is just much, much harder for men based on just the male loneliness epidemic, based on, the fact that 80% of men are viewed as unattractive according to, the majority of women. So it's like, well, why is that? What's going on in our society right now? So